The galaxy did not expect a child to change the course of history. No one, not even the oldest alien scholars, believed that a single young human from a Deathworld could shift the balance between peace and destruction. But everything began on a quiet morning when a small human boy named Ryan walked out of his settlement on the edge of the wild zone. He carried nothing except a half-broken scanner and an old backpack filled with snacks. To him, it was just another day of exploring. To the galaxy, it was the beginning of something they would never forget. Far above the planet, alien fleets moved silently. They watched the human colony with nervous eyes. Everyone in the galaxy feared Deathworld creatures, but humans were on another level. Humans survived deadly planets. Humans adapted to everything. Humans made friends with danger itself. And now there were reports that something ancient, something powerful, had awakened deep inside the wild zone. The alien fleets did not come to fight humans. They came because they were afraid of what might have woken up. Ryan walked through glowing plants that hummed softly under his feet. The air smelled like sharp metal and sweet flowers mixed together. Strange insects moved between the leaves, shining like small stars. Ryan loved this place. It was dangerous, yes, but he grew up here. He knew how to step quietly, how to sense a hidden predator, and how to stay calm when something large moved in the shadows. To adults, the wild zone was a nightmare. To Ryan, it felt like home. As he reached a cliff overlooking a wide valley, his scanner began to beep. Not the normal beep that warned him about animals. This was deeper, slower, almost like a heartbeat. He tapped it with his finger, thinking it was broken again. But the sound only grew stronger. He looked into the valley. The fog moved unnaturally, swirling around a shape, something big, bigger than anything he had ever seen. The ground shook a little. A deep sound rolled through the air like a growl mixed with thunder. Ryan should have turned back. Any normal person would have run, but Ryan was not normal. He was a Deathworld kid, and curiosity lived in his blood. He climbed down the rocks carefully, keeping his steps light. The scanner beeped faster. The fog shifted again, and for a moment Ryan saw a massive shadow move with slow, heavy breaths. Whatever it was alive, and it was waking up. Far above, inside one of the alien ships, Commander Velrin stared at the readings on his screen. His blue skin grew pale. "The creature has awakened," he whispered. His officers murmured in fear. Some stepped back. Some wanted to leave the system. "No one must go near it," Velrin ordered. "We cannot let it spread beyond this planet. Prepare the containment weapon." But something on the screen made him choke. A single human life signal had entered the creature's zone. A child. What is that child doing there? Ryan had no idea that dozens of alien ships were watching him. He walked deeper into the valley, following the strange heartbeat sound. Trees bent slightly as if something enormous had pushed them aside. Feathers, fur, and broken stones lay scattered across the ground. Ryan knelt and touched a large footprint. It was the size of a house door. "Whoa!" he whispered with excitement. The fog suddenly trembled. A huge shadow rose. The heartbeat sound was now so loud that Ryan felt it in his chest. The creature stepped forward, its body covered in dark fur, thicker and shinier than any bear he knew. Its eyes glowed faint blue, and each breath came out like a warm storm. It was terrifying, it was beautiful, and it was staring directly at him. Ryan froze. The creature took one heavy step toward him, then another. The ground shook under its weight. On the alien ship, alarms screamed. The creature seized the child. "It will attack. We must fire the containment weapon now." But Velrin hesitated. If they fired, the child would die. Ryan's heart pounded, but he did not run. He remembered what his mother always told him. Fear makes you loud, calm makes you invisible. He slowly opened his backpack and took out a small glowing fruit. Animals loved it. Maybe this creature would too. He placed it on the ground and stepped back. The massive beast lowered its head. Its breath blew dust into the air. It sniffed the fruit, then gently nudged it with its nose. Ryan smiled. "You want it," he whispered. The creature blinked slowly, almost like a nod. Suddenly, a sharp crack rang across the valley. A laser beam shot from the sky, hitting the ground near the creature. It roared, shaking the air, and Ryan stumbled back. From the ship, Velrin shouted, "We missed! The creature is reacting." The beast swung its head upward, growling at the sky. The fog around it exploded outward like a shockwave. Birds scattered in panic, trees bent dangerously. Ryan covered his ears as the roar grew louder and louder. But then, something strange happened. The creature stepped in front of him like a shield, like it was protecting him. The alien officers stared in disbelief. "It is defending the child." "How is that possible?" No creature has ever behaved like this. Ryan slowly reached out and touched the creature's fur. It was warm and soft beneath its giant form. The beast turned its head slightly and looked at him with calm eyes. Ryan whispered, "Don't worry, I won't let them hurt you." The creature lowered its head completely, almost bowing. It trusted him, a Deathworld kid, a child who was not afraid. Above them, alien ships prepared for another strike. But none of them understood the truth yet. This moment, this unexpected bond would change everything. The galaxy had prepared for war against a monster, but instead, a child had found a friend. The morning sky above the valley changed from soft blue to dark red as more alien ships moved into position. Their engines hummed like distant thunder, spreading fear across the land. Ryan stood close to the giant creature, still feeling its warm breath on his shoulder. The massive beast watched the sky with calm but alert eyes, as if it understood danger was coming. Ryan looked up too. He didn't know why the aliens were here or why they wanted to fire again, but he did know one thing: the creature was not attacking anyone. It had protected him. It had trusted him, and he could not leave it. The creature lowered itself to the ground, almost inviting Ryan to stay close. Its fur glowed faint blue under the strange light. Ryan rested his hand on it again, feeling a pulse, slow, steady, like a heartbeat that matched the land itself. He whispered softly, trying to keep his voice calm. "It's okay, I'm here." Inside the alien flagship, Commander Velrin watched the scene with tense eyes. "The creature is not attacking," he said quietly. An officer replied, "Sir, it is only calm because of the child, but once we remove him." Velrin cut him off. "We are not harming a human child. That would start a war we cannot win." "But sir, if the beast reaches its full power..." Velrin stared at the screen. "Then why has it not attacked already? Something is influencing it." His eyes narrowed. That something is the human child. Ryan suddenly heard movement in the fog behind him. Soft footsteps, careful and slow. He turned and saw 3 towering figures stepping out, alien soldiers in bright silver armor. Their armor glowed with energy and their helmets reflected the strange planet light like mirrors. They held long, thin weapons, shaking slightly in their hands. Ryan raised both hands. "I'm not doing anything," he shouted. The soldiers did not answer with words. One of them spoke in a strange, clicking language. The creature behind Ryan let out a low, warning growl. The soldiers froze instantly, fear choking their voices. Ryan stepped toward them, hoping they would understand him. "Please don't shoot. It's not hurting anyone." The beast rose to its feet behind him, taller than the soldiers and much heavier. Its shadow covered the ground like a dark wave. The soldiers stepped back, panicking. One of them aimed their weapon at the creature, but their hands shook too much to shoot. Ryan held up both arms wide. "You don't need to be scared. Really, it's not angry." The soldiers looked at each other. None of them could understand one thing. Why wasn't the creature tearing the boy apart? It should have attacked. The legends about this ancient beast described it as unstoppable. But right now, it stood behind the child like a guardian. The creature suddenly lowered its head and touched the back of Ryan's shoulder with a soft nudge. Ryan smiled. "See, it's friendly." Far above, Velrin stared in disbelief. "Is this some Deathworld ability?" he whispered. Another officer said, "Humans are unpredictable. Maybe the child imprinted on the creature." Velrin shook his head. "Or the creature imprinted on the child." The soldiers began stepping back toward their ship. One of them spoke slowly in a translator device. "Human child, leave the zone. It is dangerous." Ryan shook his head. "I can't leave it alone. You tried to shoot it." "It must be contained," the soldier said. "It is too powerful." "It protected me," Ryan shouted. "Why don't you see that?" Suddenly the ground shook again, but this time not from the creature. Another sound filled the valley, deep metal rumbling. Something huge was moving through the forest on the other side. Trees fell as a second giant shape approached. The soldiers panicked again. Ryan's eyes grew wide. "What is that?" Another creature. The fog split open and a gigantic metal machine walked out. It was not alive. It was a war robot, tall, heavy, with glowing arms and missile pods on its shoulders. It aimed at the creature behind Ryan. Velrin heard the alarms. "Who ordered the mech?" he yelled. An officer stammered. "Sector 7 feared the creature too much. They deployed it without permission." Velrin slammed his fist on the console. "Shut that machine down. It will kill the child." But the mech already charged a glowing cannon on its arm. Ryan stepped in front of the creature without thinking. "Stop!" he shouted, waving his hands. "Don't shoot." The mech did not listen. Machines had no fear. Machines followed commands. The cannon grew brighter. The creature stepped behind Ryan and pushed him gently aside, placing its own massive body between him and the robot. Its fur bristled, glowing brighter than before. The ground cracked under its feet. A strange wind swirled around it. The air hummed like energy waking up. The soldiers ran for cover. Ryan watched in stunned silence. "You're protecting me again." The beast let out a roar so deep that even the mech stumbled. Birds flew out of the forest in a massive cloud. Dust exploded into the sky. The sound echoed for miles. Something awakened inside the creature. Its eyes glowed brighter. Lines of blue light moved under its fur, traveling across its body like lightning veins. Velrin whispered, "This is the ancient power. This is why everyone feared it." The mech fired. A beam of white energy shot across the valley. The creature roared and leaped, not away but forward. It struck the ground, creating a shockwave that shattered rocks. The beam hit its shoulder and exploded, sending sparks across the valley. The creature stumbled but did not fall. Ryan screamed, "Stop hurting it." The beast, wounded but standing, charged the mech with incredible speed. The metal giant stepped back, aiming again, but the creature slammed into it, knocking it off balance. The mech fell sideways, crushing trees and throwing dirt into the air. Ryan ran toward the creature as it shook dust from its fur. "You're hurt. Please don't fight anymore." The creature lowered its head again, pressing its nose gently to his chest as if saying it was okay. Velrin watched with silent shock. "No monster behaves like this. This is impossible." He stared at the human child who had done the impossible. He whispered to himself, "We may not be facing a war. We may be facing a miracle." But not everyone in the galaxy agreed. And some had already decided that the creature must die, even if the child stood in the way. Smoke drifted across the valley as the giant mech lay broken on its side. Sparks jumped from its damaged joints. The creature stood tall beside Ryan, breathing heavily but still strong. Its blue glowing veins slowly faded back to normal. Ryan looked up at the massive beast with worry. "You're hurt. I'm sorry," he whispered. The creature blinked slowly, showing no anger at all. Instead, it pushed its huge head gently against Ryan's side, almost like a friendly nudge. Even after the attack, it trusted him. High above, alien ships floated in silent shock. Commander Velrin leaned forward in disbelief as he watched the child and creature stand together. "No Deathworld story ever mentioned this," he said quietly. Another officer whispered, "It saved the child again even after being attacked." Velrin's mind raced. Something powerful was happening, something that could change the galaxy. But not everyone saw it as hope. In a nearby ship, a different alien faction prepared weapons. They were not under Velrin's command. They followed only fear. Their leader, Captain Jahor, slammed a clawed hand on the control panel. "That creature must die before it awakens fully. If it bonds with a human, it could become unstoppable." A soldier asked nervously, "But sir, the child." "The child is a small price to pay if we can destroy the beast," Jahor snapped. His officers hesitated, but fear pushed them to obey. Down in the valley, Ryan noticed something strange. The creature lifted its head suddenly, sniffing the air. Its ears twitched, its muscles tightened. "What is it?" Ryan asked softly. The creature turned toward the mountains in the distance. Ryan followed its gaze and saw nothing, but he trusted the creature's instincts. Then he heard it too, a distant hum, growing louder, faster, like a swarm of angry insects. Alien drones flew out from behind the mountains, dozens of them glowing red and armed with small but deadly lasers. They moved in tight formation, heading straight for the valley. Ryan felt fear rise in his chest. "Oh no, why won't they stop?" The creature stepped in front of him again, protecting him without hesitation. Its fur bristled, and its blue glow returned, brighter than before. One drone fired a warning shot into the ground near them. Dirt shot into the air. Ryan jumped back. "They're trying to kill you," he whispered to the creature, his voice shaking. The beast growled softly, not in fear but in calm determination. In Velrin's ship, alarms blared again. "Unauthorized attack detected." Velrin slammed his fists on the table. "Who is firing? Who gave that order?" His officer looked at the screen with shock. "It's Captain Jahor's fleet. They are ignoring your command." Velrin rushed to activate the comms. "Jahor, stop the attack now. The child is down there." Jahor responded with cold anger. "The creature is too dangerous. You're too blind to see it. We end this now." Velrin felt helpless rage. "Reroute our ships, protect the child." His officers moved quickly, but Jahor's drones were already close. Ryan pressed himself against the creature's side. What do we do? They won't listen. The creature bent low and nudged him with its head, pushing him gently toward a cave entrance at the valley wall. Ryan understood. You want me to hide? The creature growled softly, urging him to go. But Ryan shook his head. I'm not leaving you alone, they'll kill you. The creature paused, its glowing eyes softened. It lowered its head until its huge forehead touched Ryan's chest. It stayed there for a long moment, breathing slowly, almost sadly. Ryan realized the truth. It wasn't afraid of the drones, it was afraid for him. Okay, Ryan whispered, his voice breaking. I'll hide, but don't get hurt, please. He ran to the cave entrance just as the first drone fired again. The creature leaped sideways, avoiding the shot, and roared at the swarm. The roar was so powerful that the cave walls vibrated. Ryan covered his ears, tears filling his eyes. The drones surrounded the creature. Laser beams shot through the air. The creature dodged some, but a few hit its sides, burning patches of fur. The beast roared in pain but did not run. It stood its ground like a giant mountain, refusing to fall. Ryan cried out, "Stop shooting." But the drones ignored him. The creature crouched low and then launched itself upward in a great leap, smashing 2 drones with its massive paws. Sparks flew, metal parts rained down. The remaining drones changed their formation and fired all at once, a deadly storm of red lasers. The creature staggered, struggling to stay upright. Ryan couldn't take it anymore. He ran out of the cave. "Leave him alone," he screamed. He didn't hurt anyone. The creature turned its head sharply, panicked. It roared at Ryan, warning him to go back. But it was too late. A drone locked onto Ryan. A targeting laser shone on his chest. Velrin shouted from the ship, "No, shield the child now." Before any ship could fire, the creature surged forward with impossible speed. It slammed its body into Ryan, covering him completely like a living shield. Lasers struck the creature's back, burning deep wounds, but it did not move away. Ryan felt the creature tremble above him. "You're hurt again," he whispered. "Why do you keep saving me?" The creature pressed its forehead gently against Ryan's back, even while protecting him. It didn't need words. Its actions said everything. From the sky, a huge explosion of blue energy suddenly streaked downward. Velrin's ship had finally fired, not at the creature, but at Jahor's drones. The blast wiped out half the swarm instantly. Velrin's voice echoed across the valley through loudspeakers. "All forces stop firing. The creature is protecting the human child. Repeat, stop firing." Jahor saw his drones fall and snarled. "This is only the beginning. The beast dies today." He prepared the biggest weapon in his arsenal, a huge plasma missile capable of erasing everything in the valley. Ryan looked up as the creature slowly pulled away, shaking, wounded, breathing hard. Then both of them saw the missile falling toward them like a burning star. Ryan whispered, "Please, don't die. I'm here. I won't leave you." The creature stepped in front of him again, even though it could barely stand. It would rather die than let the child be harmed. The burning missile fell through the clouds like a blazing comet, spinning with deadly force as it descended toward the valley. The air around it cracked with heat, shaking the ground long before it reached the surface. Ryan stood frozen, staring at the bright light dropping from the sky. He felt fear grip his heart so tightly that he couldn't breathe. The creature, weak and bleeding, still stepped in front of him. Its huge body trembled from the wounds left by the drones, but it refused to fall. It stood like a wall of fur and muscle, shielding the human child it had chosen to protect. Ryan whispered, "No, don't do this, you'll die." The creature moved its head just enough to look at him. Its glowing blue eyes held a calm acceptance, like it understood what was coming. It was ready to sacrifice itself. In the alien flagship, Velrin shouted orders at rapid speed. "Intercept that missile, now, fire everything we have." "But sir," an officer warned, "we may hit the creature or the child." "We cannot let them die," Velrin roared, "Fire." Bright beams of energy shot down from the ship. Dozens of smaller missiles launched at the massive plasma warhead. But Jahor's missile was built to break through defenses. It cut through the beams like water, still falling toward the valley. Velrin slammed his hands on the console. "It's going to hit." Ryan grabbed the creature's thick fur and held on tightly, tears running down his face. "Please, don't leave me. You're my friend." The creature lowered its massive head until its forehead touched his. A deep, soft rumble came from its chest, not anger, not fear, but something gentle. A goodbye. The missile drew closer, but something unexpected happened. A pulse of blue light burst from beneath the creature's skin. The glowing lines across its body brightened dangerously, spreading faster and brighter than they ever had before. Its fur shimmered like it held an entire storm inside. The air became heavy, the ground shook violently. Ryan stepped back as the creature roared louder than ever. The sound was not just heard, it was felt. It moved through the valley like a wave, pushing rocks and dust outward. Velryn's eyes widened as the sensors overloaded. It's awakening, fully awakening. The creature's roar turned into a howl so powerful that even the clouds above twisted. The blue energy around it exploded outward, creating a protective field that shimmered like a giant bubble. The missile hit the shield. A blinding flash covered the valley. A shockwave rippled through the earth. Trees bent backward as if pushed by a giant hand. Stones flew into the air. Ryan was thrown off his feet, rolling across the ground until his back hit a rock. His ears rang, his vision blurred. For several long seconds there was nothing but light and sound. Then silence. Slowly, Ryan lifted his head. Smoke rose from the center of the valley, forming a giant crater of dust. He stumbled to his feet, searching desperately for the creature. When the smoke thinned, he saw a huge shape. The blast of blue energy spread across the valley like a rising sun, turning the air bright and shimmering. Ryan squinted against the light as the creature stood tall in front of him, glowing brighter than ever before. Its wounds closed slowly, sealed by the strange energy pulsing beneath its skin. Its body looked larger, stronger, as if the explosion had awakened a hidden part of its nature. Above them, alien sensors went wild. Velryn stared at the readings on his screen with disbelief. "I've never seen energy levels like this," he whispered. One officer said, "Commander, this creature is not just awakening, it is evolving." Velryn stepped closer to the screen. "It is reacting to the child. Protecting him gives it strength." On the other side of the battlefield, Jahor's ship shook from the sudden energy wave. His officers stumbled, and the lights flickered inside the command room. "What was that?" One soldier cried. Jahor growled, "The beast is rising beyond control. If we don't destroy it now, no one will ever contain it again." He activated a manual override, preparing the largest cannon in his fleet, a weapon meant to break small moons. "This ends today," he said coldly, "even if it destroys the entire planet." Down in the valley, Ryan watched as the creature lifted its great head toward the sky. Its glowing eyes narrowed as it sensed danger. It let out a deep, rumbling growl that made the ground tremble. Ryan stepped forward and gently touched the creature's leg. "Are you okay?" he whispered. The creature looked down at him. Its eyes now carried something new, wisdom, clarity, almost understanding. Ryan felt a strange warmth in his chest. The bond between them, whatever it was, had grown stronger. He could feel the creature's thoughts, not in words but in emotions, strength, protection, and trust. Suddenly, thousands of small rocks around them began to float. The creature's energy field lifted them off the ground as if gravity had become weaker. The blue light around its body grew brighter, forming arcs of lightning that danced across its fur. Ryan stumbled back, amazed. "You can do all this." The creature roared again, a sound filled with power and warning. Its voice shook the trees and pushed the fog outward like a wave. Birds fled into the sky, fleeing the massive force radiating from its body. Velryn pointed at the screen. "Look at the creature, its power output is off the charts." An officer said, "Commander, if that power continues rising, it could cause a planet-wide shockwave." Velryn replied, "No, not unless it is pushed into full attack mode, and the child is keeping it calm." Another officer added quietly, "But Jahor isn't stopping, he's charging the super cannon." Velryn slammed his fist on the console. "We must stop him. If that cannon fires, everything will be lost." But Jahor's fleet had already moved into final position. The giant cannon pointed directly at the valley, gathering energy from 3 surrounding ships. The glowing core pulsed brighter and brighter, preparing a shot strong enough to destroy mountains. Ryan looked up at the sky and saw the thick red beam forming above them. His heart dropped. "They're going to fire again. It's bigger this time." The creature growled, lowering its stance, ready to protect him with its entire body. But this time Ryan knew something important. The creature might not survive another direct hit. He pressed his hands against its fur. "Please, don't protect me this time. They'll kill you." The creature lowered its head until its glowing nose touched his forehead. A wave of warmth filled Ryan's mind. He felt the creature telling him something. Not fear, not anger, but a promise it would not let him die, no matter what. The cannon above reached peak power. Velryn shouted, "Jahor, stop this madness. You will destroy the child." Jehor answered with a cruel hiss. Then the child should not have bonded with a monster. The cannon fired. A massive red beam tore through the sky, shaking everything as it rushed toward the valley. Ryan screamed. No. The creature moved, but not to shield him. Instead, it stood tall, lifting its head and opened its mouth. The glowing lines under its skin flared white-blue. A powerful blast of energy gathered in its throat. Velrin gasped. It's counterattacking. It's going to meet the cannon head-on. The creature unleashed a beam of blue energy into the sky. The blast collided with Jehor's cannon beam, creating a massive storm of power between them. The shockwave tore through the clouds, pushing them apart in a swirling spiral. Lightning exploded across the sky. Ryan covered his ears. The sound was deafening. The ground cracked beneath their feet. Tremors rushed through the valley like waves. The beams pushed against each other, red and blue locked in a deadly struggle. Jehor's soldiers panicked. Captain, the creature's beam is too strong. Our cannon can't handle the backlash. Jehor roared, increase power. I said increase power. The cannon grew brighter. The creature pushed harder, digging its claws deep into the earth as its beam grew stronger and brighter. Ryan could feel the creature straining. He could feel its energy fading. He could feel its pain, but the creature did not stop. The sky turned white with power. Then, with a deafening explosion, the red beam began to crack. The creature's blue energy surged forward like a tidal wave. Velrin shouted, the beast is overpowering the cannon. Jehor's fleet shook violently as the weapon overloaded. No, 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 Jehor screamed. Cut the energy, cut IT. But it was too late. The creature's beam shattered the cannon's blast. The explosion ripped through Jehor's ships, blowing apart engines, tearing metal like paper. One of the ships burst into flames. Another spun out of control. The sky rained burning debris. Ryan stared in awe and fear. You did it, you beat it. The creature lowered its head, exhausted. Its glowing veins flickered weakly. Ryan ran to it and hugged its huge face. You're amazing, you saved everyone. But Velrin suddenly saw something on his screen, something worse than the cannon. The creature's energy levels, they're unstable, he whispered. If it collapses now, the explosion could destroy half the planet. The creature stood shaking, barely able to stay upright. Ryan felt the creature's breath grow shallow. It had used too much power, and now the planet itself trembled beneath them. The final decision, the choice that would decide the creature's fate, Ryan's fate, and the galaxy's fate, was coming. The ground shook harder than before as the creature's glowing veins flickered weakly, like a dying star struggling to stay alive. Ryan felt the tremors under his feet, each stronger than the last. Dust fell from the cliffs, and cracks spread across the valley floor. The air buzzed with unstable energy. It felt like the world itself was holding its breath. Ryan kept his arms wrapped tightly around the creature's huge face. You're okay, please stay with me, he whispered. But the creature's breathing grew slow and uneven. Its blue glow dimmed until it was only a faint shimmer. The energy it had used to defeat Jehor's cannon had drained almost everything inside it. In the alien flagship, Velrin watched the readings drop rapidly. The creature's core is collapsing, he said, his voice tight with fear. An officer replied, if the energy inside it implodes, it could release a giant shockwave. How big, Velrin asked. The officer swallowed. Big enough to destroy half the planet. Velrin's heart dropped. They couldn't attack, they couldn't shoot. But they couldn't let a planet die either. Far away in the sky, Jehor's broken fleet burned like falling embers. Some of his ships were gone, others drifted silently. Inside the damaged command ship, Jehor stared at the creature's unstable readings. So, the beast will destroy itself, he said bitterly. Good, let it die with the humans. His surviving officers stared at him in shock. Captain, we should evacuate. But before they could finish, the entire control room sparked violently, knocking Jehor to the floor. His own ship was dying just like his plan. Down in the valley, Ryan pressed his forehead against the creature's fur. I'm right here, he said softly. I won't let you die alone. The creature opened its eyes, weak but still glowing with warmth. It nudged him gently with its nose. The meaning was clear. Leave, run, save yourself. Ryan shook his head, tears falling freely. No, you always protected me, now I protect you. The creature stared at him for a long moment, and something deep inside it responded. The blue glow flickered brighter just for a second like a heartbeat trying to return. The planet shook again. Rocks tumbled from the cliffs. The wind roared through the valley. Velrin turned to his officers. We have one chance, he said. If the child's bond stabilizes the creature, he may be able to calm its collapsing energy. Everything depends on him. Commander, one officer said, if the child fails, he will die with it. Velrin closed his eyes. Then we must trust him. That child has done the impossible again and again. Ryan placed both hands against the creature's warm fur. Listen to me, he whispered. You're not alone. I'm here. I'm your friend. You're safe. His voice trembled but did not break. You don't need to fight anymore. Just stay with me. The creature's breathing paused, then slowly steadied. The blue light beneath its skin brightened just a little. Ryan felt a pulse, weak but still alive. Suddenly the creature lifted its head toward the sky and released a low, gentle sound. Not a roar, not anger, something like a soft hum that vibrated through the valley. The glow around its body flickered and began to spread outward in slow waves rather than violent bursts. Velrin watched in awe. The child, he's calming it. The energy is stabilizing. Ryan kept talking, even as tears slid down his cheeks. Please stay with me. We can fix this. You don't have to go. The creature slowly lowered its massive body onto the ground, resting its head beside him. Its eyes glowed warmly, filled with trust. Ryan sat beside it, leaning against its fur. The light flowing out of the creature became softer, smoother, almost peaceful. The cracks in the earth stopped spreading. The rumbling began to fade. The energy storm slowly died away. Velrin let out a long breath. He did it. The Deathworld child saved us all. One by one, alien ships lowered toward the valley, but none dared to get too close. They watched in silence, respecting the bond between boy and beast. Hours passed. The sky cleared, leaving only soft sunlight over the valley. The creature slept beside Ryan, breathing slowly but safely. The blue glow under its skin faded into a calm, natural radiance. Its wounds healed a little more with each peaceful moment. Ryan stroked its fur gently. You're okay now, he whispered. Velrin and a small team landed nearby. He approached carefully, keeping his hands open and empty. Child, Velrin said softly, you saved your world today. Ryan didn't look up. He saved me first. Velrin nodded, yes, and he changed the way the galaxy sees humans and creatures like him. Ryan finally asked, will they try to kill him again? Velrin looked at the sleeping beast, then back at the boy. No, he said firmly, not anymore. The galaxy saw what he did. He protected life, not destroyed it. We will honor that. Ryan